Yang Xinhai, famously known as the Monster Killer, is one of China's most notorious serial killers.
Yang Xinhai.
Between 1999 and 2003, he brutally murdered 67 people across multiple provinces, becoming a terrifying figure in the country's criminal history. His killings were cold, calculated, and utterly random, making his crimes even more horrifying for the public. Yang's method was simple but effective. He would wander through rural areas at night, breaking into homes where he found people vulnerable and asleep. Once inside, he would use whatever tools he could find: axes, hammers, or shovels to kill his victims. His targets were often entire families, sparing no one. The randomness of his killings made him particularly difficult to track, as there was no clear pattern regarding whom he targeted or where he would strike next. This uncertainty left entire communities living in constant fear. Yang's early life gave a glimpse into how he could eventually become a killer. Born in 1968 in Hainan province, he grew up in poverty. He dropped out of school at an early age and spent much of his youth working odd jobs, drifting from place to place. At 17, he began his criminal career by committing minor thefts, and he was arrested multiple times for burglary. But after spending time in labor camps and prison, his crimes escalated. He later confessed that his actions were motivated by hatred towards society. He felt disconnected, outcast, and alienated, and this growing bitterness fed into his murderous rampage. Yang's killing spree lasted for 4 years, during which he showed no remorse. He described his murders as a way to relieve his inner rage and frustration, stating that he had no sympathy for his victims because, in his eyes, they were just tools for him to vent his anger. This mindset made him a deeply dangerous and unpredictable person, as he didn't seem to care about anything except satisfying his twisted urges. His arrest in 2003 was a stroke of luck for authorities. Yang had been able to evade capture for so long by constantly moving from one province to another, leaving little trace behind after each crime. However, his downfall came when police detained him for acting suspiciously during a routine check in the city of Kangzhou, Hebei province. A simple check of his identification raised red flags, and when police dug deeper, they realized they had apprehended the man behind the string of unsolved murders. A DNA test soon linked him to several of the crime scenes. Once in custody, Yang showed no signs of regret. In fact, during his trial, he reportedly smiled and bragged about his killings, claiming that he enjoyed the feeling of power that came with taking lives. His cold and emotionless demeanor shocked the public, and the media dubbed him the Monster Killer for his complete lack of empathy. He admitted to unaliving 67 people and committing 23 rapes, all with chilling indifference. Yang Xinhai's trial was swift. In February 2004, he was sentenced to death for his crimes. Just a month later, in March 2004, he was executed by firing squad, bringing an end to the life of one of China's deadliest serial killers. Despite his death, the terror he caused lives on in the memory of those who followed his case. His crimes were not only brutal but senseless, driven by a deep-seated hatred of society and a personal desire for power. Yang's story is a grim reminder of how unchecked anger and isolation can lead to unimaginable violence. His random, motiveless killings left an indelible mark on Chinese society, making him one of the most feared criminals in the country's history.